Hey, I'm Mike.
Hey, I'm Ethan.
I watched the first half of Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night II.
I watched the second half of Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night II.
And this
Is the other half.
Spooktacular! God damn it.
Didn't give me that time.
I did not get you that time.
Didn't give me that time. It's like I know he's not going to forget.
Oh boy, my wife gives the best movie recommendation.
Oh, this is your wife recommendation.
My wife had recommended this one, Phelan. She's been on the podcast several times.
What was her reason for this one?
I think she had seen the trailer and she just thought the trailer looked like a good time.
Y'all trust trailers too much. You can't trust trailers. Trailers are lies meant to market to you about what things are, but I will say this movie's all right.
I liked this movie a
right.
lot. This movie was a ton of fun. The only problem with the movie, and sadly it's something that I think comes into play in your half, Mary Lou is hardly in this fucking movie.
Yeah, no.
Her presence is seen and felt. What? She actually shows up in your half?
She's quite a big part of my half.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad you got to see the beauty of Mary Lou. I was telling my wife a bit about the movie, and I was just like describing Mary Lou and the kind of shit she does. And my wife was like, oh, so she's serving cunt. I'm like, hell yeah, she
Honestly,
is.
yeah, from the 50s, too.
It's awesome.
It's very funny.
It's amazing.
It's very funny how this movie, made in the 80s,
Yes.
is referencing the 50s as it's very old.
I know. This is, but what, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 30 years.
So it'd be like us referencing
the 90s.
The 90s.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and we
it'd be
all
like,
turn to dust.
We all don't say that anymore.
I know. So, movie opens with a woman. This is the best opening.
Also, hold on.
Oh, go ahead.
Michael Ironside's in the movie.
Michael Ironside's in the movie giving a performance.
He's doing some work.
He's
for being
doing
a weird creep man.
playing Billy or Bill.
Yeah. Bill. Yeah.
This is kind of what I dig about the movie. Like, the movie is a sequel to Prom Night. I don't know if you've seen Prom Night.
Well, it's a very loose sequel.
It's a Mary loose sequel.
It's not really. It wasn't even made to be.
No, and you can tell.
Based off Prom Night.
You can tell.
I've never seen Prom Night.
Prom Night is just a straight up movie about a prom night where a killer is running around during prom.
Yeah, it just sounds like Carrie.
Yes, it basically is.
This movie turns into Carrie, basically. Anyway.
Actually, that movie's not like Carrie because in that movie it's not like it's like a serial killer. It's not like a psychological or like supernatural person.
Okay.
Whereas this is more.
This is definitely supernatural.
Very much so. But yeah, very loose sequel to Prom Night. I don't know where I was going with that. Either way, but with a movie that's doing that, it's honestly kind of doing some interesting, like not interesting, but fun. The movie's having a lot of fun.
I think that's the thing is this movie is very tropey. It's very tropey. It's
but it
very
knows
much
it's
exactly.
tropey.
Yes, it knows exactly what it is. I don't know if it knows, but it leans into it enough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it's like a wink and a nod most of the time,
right.
but it's just doing the stuff you expect.
Right.
Of kind of like a late 80s slasher movie.
It's kind of this thing where it's like, we know, maybe they don't know it's tropey, but they know like we've got a low budget. Mm-hmm. You know, we don't have like big names. I think the biggest name we've got is Michael Ironside somehow.
Yeah, that's very true.
And it's like, fuck it. Like, let's have some fun. Let's do some weird shit. And it's like, I don't want to compare it to like modern day or like not modern day, but like if you look at like other horror movies that probably have a similar sort of budget and restraints, it's like, yeah, they play it safe. You know, they have extended scenes of people like walking through dark hallways with flashlights and, you know, making bad decisions.
This is cornball as hell.
This is so fun. This is like every movie should feel like a party, and this movie feels like a fun party.
Every movie should feel like a party.
Not every movie should feel like a party.
Come and see. Yeah, let's go sing kind of party.
Yeah, Speak No Evil.
Yeah.
Feels like a party.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I loved it. I loved my half of the movie. It was doing, and what a great opening. Let me tell you how the movie opens.
Yeah.
Movie opens. A woman, as we learn, Mary Lou, walks into a confessional with a priest, and she's like, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned." She says, "I've disobeyed my parents. I've taken the Lord's name in vain, and I've had sex with a lot of boys."
Ooh.
And you see her sort of like reaching into her pocket. She pulls something out of her pocket. Like, oh, is she going to kill like the priest or something? Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I don't know what to expect. And the priest is like, oh, well, you know, you should expect some consequences for your actions, you know? And then she says, Oh, and there's just one more thing, she says.
What is it, my poor child?
I loved every minute of it.
And then the camera, and what you realize is she's actually pulled out her like lipstick, and she's written on the inside of the confession box her phone number, and below it says, "For a good time, Mary Lou."
Wow.
I'm like, that is a great
That's
way.
a great way to establish a character.
Good shit. I'm
Wow.
like, I'm not on Mary Lou's side, but I cannot wait to see what kind of insane shit she pulls, you know? So the movie opens in 1970 or 1957. We hear like Tutti Frutti,
Love
you know?
Tutti Frutti.
Gotta love it. Does that play in your half of the movie as well?
In a way.
Okay, cool. So it's great. And she is going to the prom with Billy.
Yes.
And I'm like, wow, Billy.
okay,
he's-
is it Michael
It is
Ironside?
not Michael Ironside.
Okay.
It is a person who looks like a little like a younger boy, a younger guy who looks like Michael Ironside, but is balding already.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
I was like, that's an odd choice for a man in high school. Be like, you're balding.
You're already balding.
I mean, that happens, but it sucks.
It sucks. It actually kind of works because apparently we learned that Billy comes from money. Michael Ironside's character comes from money. And the only reason that Mary Lou is with him is because of the money, basically.
Got it.
And so she even gave him a ring. Wait, he even gave her a ring.
Yeah, and it has her initials on it.
It has her
right?
initials
ML.
on it. He's so in love with her. And then she
ML?
MF. Mary Lou, ML.
Oh, fuck. That's not MILF at all.
It's not MILF. Well, it's
That's
2
cause,
letters.
Though. We need 2 more letters.
We got 2 letters. Well,
He
and
was
plus she
setting that
dies
up.
young, so I don't know
I
if
guess
she's gonna
that's
be a
true. There's
MILF.
no way to be a MILF then.
So she's like, "Oh, Billy, can you go get me some punch?" And so he leaves to go get punch, and when she gets back, she's gone, and she's backstage with Cooper.
Oh, fucking Cooper.
Fucking-
Isn't that guy Buddy? Is that his first name?
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
You've already stumbled upon my favorite thing about this movie. It's one of my favorite tropes, and I'll get into it later on. But she's backstage with Cooper, and he's like,
How would he grow up that square floor anyway?
Because he treats me right. His daddy's rich. Rich enough to make Billy cool.
So why'd you go out with me?
Because it's a big, free country.
Oh, God bless America.
Incredible.
love it. Fucking love it. And Billy walks in on all this and flips out. He's like so upset. He's just like, how could you, Mary Lou? And she's just like, what? We're not doing anything. We're just doing something. Like, she's like, she's so fucking evil. I fucking love it. And then he's like, I can't believe you did this to me. Why would you go to I gave you a ring. And then she's like, see you later, alligator. I'm like, whoever is playing Mary Lou, I'm like,
She loves saying "see you later, alligator."
She says it more in your half of the movie.
"Oh yeah," and that they keep saying it's dated, right? They keep being like, "That one says."
I mean, not at this point in the movie because it's not dated at this point. It's 57.
That's true.
But the actor playing Mary Lou is fucking killing it. She's eating up all the scenery. She feels like Elizabeth Taylor or something. She's just she is incredible. She is so good. And so Billy's in the bathroom licking his wounds. Do you know what that phrase means? Licking your wounds?
Yeah, it means you're kind of like taking a moment to kind of just be like, man, this sucks.
I was worried I was gonna say it, and then people were gonna go
That's
like,
old stuff. No one says that anymore, Mike. We used to say that, but not anymore.
"See you later, alligator."
Yeah.
So he's licking his wounds in the-
After a while, crocodile.
Uh-huh. So he's in the bathroom licking his wounds, and there's some boys in there who have like a stink bomb that they were gonna set off.
Hell yeah.
But then they just
That's me. That's what I would be doing.
honestly, yeah, it would be right. And then one of them like just but then the principal shows up, so they dispose of the stink bomb. Billy sees the stink bomb, and he's like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna light the stink bomb next to Mary Lou, and
She's gonna be stinky.
she's gonna be stinky.
That's funny.
So Mary Lou wins prom queen.
Mary Pooh is her name now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, stink you later, alligator. So Mary Lou wins prom queen, and she goes up on stage, and she's given a sash or a cape, and like a tiara, and all that stuff. And she's so bitchy to the person putting the cape on. She's like, just who cares about the fucking cape? Just give me the tiara, you bitch. I'm like,
Wow,
I fucking love her.
that's awesome.
She rocks. And so she's getting all this shit put on, and Billy's like above the stage with the stink bomb. He lights it and drops it next to her. And she just goes up. The wick just lights her on fire immediately.
Whoa.
And she's just like, And she just is like in flames. She's immediately covered in fire. She starts burning up in front of everybody, and nobody can save her. Billy's immediately like, somebody save her. Nobody will save her. Cooper tries to stop it. Nobody can stop it. It's way too late. The last thing Billy sees, or really the last thing that Mary Lou does, is she looks up at Billy, looks him in the eyes, and then she dies and she perishes. And
she's like, I'm gonna get you, Billy.
for some inexplicable reason, her cape, which is not caught on fire, her tiara and her sash are all saved in the school in like a trunk.
Whoa.
Like, yeah.
Oh, I thought they put on display as like.
No. They're
our
like in
favorite prom
saved.
queen.
It's clear that Billy,
Oh, that's what that trunk is. Okay.
yeah, it's clear that Billy, who, spoilers, ends up becoming the principal of the school, is like, I need to keep all this stuff like safe and protected, so I'm just gonna lock it up in a trunk and leave it on school property,
Wait,
where
it's
any
like,
old child can come across
This
it.
is the thing that's keeping her at bay. Her spirit is like keeping it in this trunk.
But even if it isn't, like, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to hold on to it anyway?
I'll just throw it in the trash.
Exactly. So she goes up. Flash
I
forward.
guess it was his girlfriend. I guess, but she sucked. So I
She
don't know.
sucked, but
Yeah.
she was also awesome. So,
She's awesome for us.
so cut to the future in the 80s. We meet Vicky, who's this blonde
Go-eyed,
girl.
just
The innocent,
most innocent person you could cast for this. Just,
exactly.
like, imagine the most innocent blonde girl, and if you say the word penis, she'd be offended by it.
She would melt.
She would melt into
Yeah.
pieces. That's exactly who you'd picture.
And so we're introduced to her and her family. She has she has a mom and a dad, and the mom is very, very strict, and the dad is a little bit more loose about it. He's like, whatever, like
Yeah,
things
he
are
gets
fine.
loose.
Does he?
Mm.
I can't wait to see what that means. So Vicky is a senior. She's going to go to senior prom with Craig, who drives a motorcycle, and her
Yeah.
mom does not. Her mom disapproves of the motorcycle.
And who's Craig's dad?
Craig's dad is Billy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just pop into that. So Craig's dad is Billy from the flashback, and
Yep.
Cooper has become a priest.
Yeah, Buddy Cooper.
Buddy Cooper has become a
Is that your
priest.
favorite trope? Is when someone
My favorite trope, and this sort of like falls into like, this is a weird comparison to make, but it falls into like Twin Peaks: The Return, when you like see how characters have like aged and like what like decisions they've made in their life, you know? I really like that sort of like Billy just sort of is rich and just became the principal of the school. But Cooper was like, he, slept with a guy's girlfriend, and then and then the woman fucking died in front of him. And he's like, I gotta fucking turn my life around.
Yeah.
It's just kind of cool to see like characters making decisions. But
so you just like characters changing and becoming a person.
yeah, but seeing that, not seeing the transition, seeing the beginning and the end.
Oh yeah. I see the result.
Seeing the result and then just sort of like putting all the pieces together in your
Yeah,
mind.
like here's the life event. And
Like,
then here's a trajectory, and then you see the end.
It makes them feel a bit more like human beings. Like,
Yeah.
I love that kind of trope. And it's like, this movie did not need to do that. But I love that it because at first I was like, that's just going to be Billy. Like, Billy's this easy, obvious choice. But the fact that they also threw in Cooper in there, and Cooper is like a super religious dude who is like, in your half of the movie, trying to like exorcise the demon of Mary Lou and shit. I'm like, that's like a cool character decision. I don't know. Like, you don't need to put that in the movie, but it's cool that you did, Could have been any kind of priest dude, So, I don't know. I like that kind of shit. So, Craig picks her up in his motorcycle, and he gives her, like, a new cross necklace, like a big, like, cross necklace, because he knows that she's religious. And at this point, I'm like, Craig's a cool guy. He rides a motorcycle.
He's fine.
He's cool.
He's not a bad guy.
And this is the other thing I like about this movie. Everyone's kind of okay. Like,
There's some mildly shitty things, but nothing that's like unforgivable.
there's one girl that kind of sucks.
Kelly?
Kelly sucks.
Yeah.
Don't like Kelly.
Yeah, we don't like Kelly.
Monica's fine. She's a little bit like weird, but then
She's like, she's her friend, right? Like,
Monica's her friend, but her boyfriend is cool.
fuck.
Josh.
Josh.
I love Josh.
Josh.
You don't like Josh? Oh, Josh is a bad guy in your
Josh
half
has
of the
some
movie.
problematic things.
Okay, well, Josh is cool in my half of the movie. I love Craig. Vicky's cool. She's actually really like thoughtful and like supportive.
Yeah.
You don't meet her, but there's a girl named
Why?
Jess in my half of the movie. I don't know why you won't meet her. She's cool. Like, there's all these, like, you don't need to make all these people nice, but like, especially for Craig, because like you see him on the motorcycle and you're immediately like, oh, he's gonna be like a jerk. But no, he's like, he bought a cross for his girlfriend. Like, he seems like a cool dude. The real like villain of this like situation feels more like Vicky's mom, who's like super shut out in the world. I don't know. It's cool. It's some cool stuff. So, Craig picks her up, gives her a cross necklace. He seems like a sweet guy. We are introduced to Josh, who turns a potato into a radio. I just wrote down,
Cool.
he seems cool. I like him.
It's a simple trick. It impresses Mike every time.
He
I'm
licks it. He's
Ooh.
he's like super weirdly like sexual about the potato radio he made.
He was really into Portal 2. Really into it. Loved it a lot.
That's right. That's right. He's
Big Cave Johnson.
Cave
fan.
Johnson. We also meet Monica, who she's like, I don't have a date for the prom, and every guy is like falling over themselves to like ask her out, and then she just is like, no, I don't want to go out with you. And then she's like, why won't anybody ask me out? So she's like that kind of person.
Yeah.
But again, like she's not a bad person. It's just like,
No.
oh, that's like a cute like high school thing, you know. We are introduced to Bill, the principal, who it was amazing putting together that this was the kid from the beginning of the movie.
So they didn't make it obvious.
Not at first, but then they do like a flashback. But at first, you just see him and you see his name. And if you're smart, you'll pick up on the name.
Like
if you're
Mike
smart
did.
like me.
Yeah.
But if you're not a smart boy like me, they do a little flashback where they like full on explain that he's the kid from the beginning of the movie.
Smart.
It's a cool thing. And so Craig comes in to talk to his dad, the principal, and Craig's like, "Hey, I don't want to go to college. I want to take a year off, and I want to, I want to work. I want to like actually work. I want to like do something with my life for a little bit, and then maybe I'll go to college afterwards." And Billy's like, "You're throwing your life away." And he's like, "I'm not throwing it away. I'm just juggling it for a little bit."
Yeah.
Like, that's a great line. I love Craig. Vicky has a friend who Jess, who you don't meet, and she's planning on making her prom dress out of costumes from the school's prop room.
Okay.
And one thing I didn't mention is that Vicky really wants to buy like an expensive, good-looking new prom dress, but her mom refuses because that would be, too alluring. It would be ungodly.
Ooh, sexy.
So Vicky has the same idea. She's like, well, what if I go up and check out the prom dresses up or wherever the costume upstairs in the prop shop, the prop room, and maybe I can find something good. So she goes to check out the prop room herself, and she finds the trunk with Mary Lou's tiara, sash, and cape. And I'm like, how is that not burnt? And then she takes it. She takes it out of the trunk.
That's a very odd choice to be like, I'm bringing the things you get when you win the prom to the prom. A little preemptive.
Pretty easy.
It's like-
Well,
it's like-
apparently she is in the running for prom queen.
Still, it's like going to the Olympics and being like, here's my
gold medal.
Here's some gold medal I found.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of like, all right, dude, you didn't earn that though.
So up until this point, the movie feels like a fucking roller coaster. I'm like, like in a good way. I'm like, this is thrilling. This is fun. I'm having a blast. And then she talks to Jess, and Jess is like, is there something behind you?
She's behind me. I was looking for my water.
Ethan,
I don't know.
I thought you were trying to burp.
No, I'm not gonna burp. You would never know if I burp, brother.
I never know if you burped.
Never know.
Definitely never
not,
know.
Never, especially if I burp Diet Coke near you or anything.
You'll never live that down.
You'll never live that down.
I
I did it once.
You did it once. You're the one that brings it up.
You brought it up. You implied it.
I was.
You implied it.
I
What
was
else are you implying?
You burped in the mic once.
Potentially.
Okay. All right. Serious faces right now.
Serious
Are you seriously looking for your water? You want to find your water?
No, I'm pretty sure it's in my car.
Okay. Yeah, I think it is in your car.
I don't need it.
You don't need it. You don't need that water,
I'll drink it
bro.
when I
Just
get
keep
home.
drinking beer.
I'll keep drinking beer, bro, and then I'll drive home.
Exactly.
It'll be great.
So up until this point, movie's been a blast. Super fun.
Uh-oh.
And then Vicky goes into like the locker room and she sees Jess crying in the corner of the locker room.
Uh-oh.
And earlier Jess mentioned that she was going to the hospital, like a doctor's appointment.
Uh-huh.
And Jess is like, I had this guy. At first I thought like Jess might have like had like a thing going for Vicky. I'm like, oh, maybe there's like a, a lesbian thing going on. But no, Jess is like, no, Vicky, there's this guy and I really liked him. And I thought he really liked me, but now I can't get a hold of him. But he gave me a present. I'm pregnant.
Ah.
And the camera is like, the shot is like kind of emotional and like, it's like very like they're solitary in the corner and it's like very like solemn. It almost kind of feels, I keep bringing up Twin Peaks here a little bit. It does feel a bit like Twin Peaks where it's like these crazy bombastic things start happening and then all of a sudden we're just going to take a little break and now we're going to watch these characters just like deal with emotion in front of you. So that night, Jess is at school late. She's doing art late on campus. And the guy that I guess runs the school is like, just lock up when you're done. I'm like, I don't know if you should just give that kind of responsibility to a high schooler, but okay. So she's doing art late into the night, and then she sees the cape and the tiara, and she starts pulling jewels out of the tiara, and she puts the cape on, and then all of a sudden the cape comes to life, and it hangs her up,
Whoa.
and she dies. She's hanged until dead, and I was like, whoa, that's fucking crazy. And then the camera like, it's like she's being like hanged, and then the camera cuts from her being hanged to like the outside of the school, and I was like, oh, they're trying to like do like a dramatic thing where it's like she's dead, and now like here's the exterior shot of the school, and it's this idea of like no one knows that she's dead, and it's you're imagining in your head like students are going to come into the school tomorrow and see her being hanged, and they're going to think it's like an art thing, or they're going to it's going to be very shocking, and I just had this whole image in my head. And then all of a sudden, she just fucking gets launched out of the window and smashes to the ground.
Hell yeah!
And I was like, "Whoa! I wasn't expecting that. I thought this was supposed to be like a solemn, like establishing shot of the school, but no, we were."
Mary Lou don't act like that.
No, Mary Lou's not about that
Mary
shit.
Lou ain't about the subtlety.
So she just gets launched out the window. And then the next day, everyone discovers her, and they are like, "Oh shit, Jess is dead," and everyone's like. Vicky's like, well, she did say she was pregnant, so maybe she wanted to kill herself.
Oh my god!
So everyone's just like, I guess that's the end of that. So yeah. Oh, and then after she gets launched out, the cape rearranges itself back to looking normal, and the tiara fixes itself. What happens next? The next morning, everyone thinks that Jess killed herself. After Jess's funeral, Vicky goes to Mary Lou's grave and is unnerved by it. She gets a very weird vibe from her grave. Vicky's the next day. She's
Why did she just go to her grave just for fun?
just because she was at the graveyard already because Jess had just died.
So she's like, I guess I'll go visit Mary Lou for some reason.
Seemed like she was just walking out of the graveyard, and then she walked by the grave and she saw it. And then she got a weird vibe from it.
Shiver.
A little shiver. She felt like somebody walked over her own grave.
Oh my god! But
So-
it was her. And she. It's too much.
So-
Can't even explain that.
Vicky is like, it's the next day at school. Vicky's like, I think it's kind of weird that we're still throwing the prom even after Jess died. And then Kelly walks up and says some shitty thing to Jess. Says some shitty thing about Jess to Vicky, and Vicky's like, "You shut your goddamn mouth, you bitch."
Vicky,
Which is very unbecoming from Vicky. Vicky's not supposed to say that.
You're not supposed to do that. Vicky, come on now.
So that same day, Josh and Monica are having lunch together. They're eating lunch together. And Josh says,
Well, I'm planning to go alone. I'm gonna drink too much beer and throw up in the can. It's my duty. I'm a teenager.
I'm like, I love this fucking guy.
Little Josh Gremlin.
I love this fucking dude. This guy rocks. Right now. I don't know what happens. in the
Right, yeah.
future.
Well, so far.
So far, he rocks.
Yeah. You're only going off the information you have.
And the information I have so far, I'm like, he's like a nerd. He definitely like reminds me of like like a similar vibe as like when I was in college, or not in college, in high school. Like he dresses weird. And he's like a very strange
He's got
dude.
like 30 watches.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. So Vicky starts to see nightmarish visions all of a sudden. It feels like the Beetlejuice underworld stuff. I don't know if you see this in your half of the movie, where like stuff starts to turn like all distorted and
Kinda,
dark. Yeah. So she goes to the water fountain to try to like splash water in her face. But the water turns into blood, and these, and then these ghostly apparitions start to call her Mary Lou, and she's like, "I'm not Mary Lou. I'm not Mary Lou." And then at home, she has dinner. And a college form has arrived for her. And her mom is like, oh, well, you're going to go to college. Here we go. Here's your college form. And Vicky's like, well, actually, I don't want to go to college. She has the same plan as Craig. She's like, I actually want to, find maybe like work here for a year and then maybe go to college afterwards. And her mom forbids it. And
How dare you work for a year?
I know.
Your fucking life is ruined after a year of work.
That's what sucks is like there's nothing wrong with just like doing a year. Like just doing a
also,
year.
being able to get a job right after high school for a year, that's pretty good. Full-time job?
That's what I'm saying. Just put it
Not
off
that
for a
bad.
year. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Also, you'll realize how much work fucking sucks when you don't have a degree.
And then you'll be
and
like
then you'll
begging to go to college.
Yeah, you'll be like, man, that's exactly what I did during college. I worked a manual labor job, and I was like,
Same.
man, I gotta get out of here. I
Same.
gotta get a degree.
Yeah, same. I was like, I can't be fucking doing
Not
this.
for me. Not
Yeah.
for me, baby.
So, but she actually stands up for herself against her mom. She's like, you know what? I don't respect you reading my mail. I don't want to like go straight to college. And she doesn't even sit during the prayer before dinner. She instead gets up and she goes to her room.
Wow.
And she starts painting her nails and she does her makeup. And
Oh
she,
my God.
She looks at
What a
herself.
floozy.
Well, that's the thing. She looks at herself in the reflection and she starts to look like Mary Lou. And she winks back at herself. She immediately
Wait, how
starts
she starts to look like Mary Lou? She
like her makeup and her hair and stuff.
Oh.
And then she takes everything off because she's too embarrassed by it.
Yeah.
So next day, Josh asks Monica, he's like, hey, so, I'm going alone to prom and you're going alone to prom. So maybe we should just I don't know, meet up there. I think that'd be fun. And she's like, well, if we hang out there, at first she's like playing hard to get. She's just like, I don't know. If we meet up there, then people are going to think we're there together and we might want to kiss each other. And then he's like, oh, I guess you're right. And then he's like, well, if we kissed each other now, then maybe we wouldn't have the temptation to kiss each other at the dance. And you laugh, but it's absolutely the right play because it's so obvious it's true because it's so obvious she wants to go to the prom with him, but she's a little bit too proud to say it.
Am I giving good dating advice right now on podcast right now?
It's a good play and it works because then she kisses him.
Wow.
It works. I'm like, damn, this is really fucking smart. I was like, this shit rocks. I'm so sad because apparently this guy's not a good dude. But in this moment, Josh is fucking smooth. I'm like, Josh and Monica forever. These two are going to last to the end of the earth.
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, they're playing volleyball in gym. And Kelly throws the volleyball at Vicky's head so goddamn hard that she fucking is transported into the underworld once again. And everyone is calling her Mary Lou. And the volleyball net turns into a spider web and it traps Vicky in it. And she's like, I am not Mary Lou. I'm not Mary Lou. And then she snaps out of it and everyone hears her screaming this. And Billy sees this.
Uh-huh.
The principal sees all this in gym and he gets very nervous. And so he goes and he visits the trunk in the school attic and he sees that it's empty. He's very concerned.
I don't know why he would leave it at the school.
That's what I'm fucking saying. Leave it in your own fucking attic.
Yeah.
Or burn it.
Yeah. You're just leaving your attic. No one's going to go up there until you're dead and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Someone else's problem, man. After that,
Bury it. Bury it.
Or bury it, yeah. That's the responsible thing.
It's the responsible things to bury.
Well, in your own
the
backyard.
trunk. Yeah, exactly.
Then someone has to buy your house after you're dead.
They really have to go after it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Vicky is brought home after fainting, and her mom is like, you fainted? You got to go talk to Father Cooper. You got to go talk to the priest in church. And so she says, I've been seeing Mary Lou. I've been having visions of Mary Lou. And the priest is like, you must stay strong. You must stay devout. You cannot give in to temptation. Cooper tells her to stay strong, stay devout, don't give in to temptation, basically. Mm-hmm. But he's playing his hand a little close to the chest. He's just like, I'm not giving her too much information about how Mary Lou might be a fucking demon from hell that's going to possess you. Mm-hmm. He's really just sort of stay devout, stay strong, But
it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. What happens next? Bill burns an old photo of Mary Lou that he still has, and fucking Craig walks in on his dad burning this old picture. If I was Craig, I'd be like, I gotta go fuck out of here. Maybe I should go to college.
I should go to college. I don't want to live here any longer.
So Vicky gets ready for bed, and she's an artist. That's how she knew Jess, because they were both artists. And they were both drawing and stuff. There's a drawing that she's done of herself. Which is very narcissistic, but whatever. And
whatever, you're gonna do it.
She's got this
You
drawing.
never draw a picture of yourself?
I have drawn pictures of myself.
Wow, a fucking narcissist. Fucking narcissistic guy over here calling other people narcissists. It's crazy.
Well, that's how it goes, glass houses and all. So she's got a drawing of herself, and then she hears something under the bed. So she puts the drawing down. She looks under the bed, nothing under there. And she picks up the drawing again, and it's a drawing of Mary Lou.
Oh my God, she was drawing Mary Lou, her favorite person.
Her favorite person. Now, did you see the horse in her room?
Yes. It's like a weird, rocking horse, right? But
it's like a weird rocking horse that also feels like it belongs in a merry-go-round.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Perfect way to describe it.
This thing, I'm so glad you saw this because I wasn't sure how I would be able to describe it otherwise. I think I just wrote it down as a large horsey toy. Mm-hmm. And it turns evil. Its eyes turn bloodshot red and its tongue starts coming out like a pervert. And it looks evil. and the mirror turns into water, and then she's like, Vicky's like groped in bed by like ghostly hands, and then and she starts screaming, she's running around, she picks up a radio and busts it on the ground, and then her parents bust in, they're like, Vicky, are you okay? She's just like, I dropped the radio, and it broke. She has to lie to her parents. She doesn't want to tell them the truth.
Yeah, tell the truth that she went through a weird psycho moment.
Yeah, exactly. Where the goat lived, she's got to
bed
get rid of that
roped her,
horse.
yeah.
So does the horse turn into a big old pervert horse in your half the movie too?
Yeah, and it was very disturbing.
It is very disturbing. They did a good job with that horse.
That horse's
thing.
weird tongue thing is not.
And
it's
like creepy red eyes.
It's like imagine some regular merry-go-round horse
Yes.
with weird human or horse tongue coming out of it. It's not good.
You guys have seen the poster for that upcoming, or depending if you've already, this movie's, if you're listening to this episode in the past, the Andrew Garfield and one movie. What the fuck is the name of that movie?
Oh, I don't remember the name of the movie at all, but I have.
You know what I'm talking about,
listen,
right?
I have the horse as the emo on my Twitch channel, so.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. So that horse.
That horse. It's exactly that horse.
What is
but
the
it has
name
a
of
weird,
this
gross,
fucking movie?
gross, creepy tongue.
We
sticking out
Live
there.
in Time.
Yeah, man, I would never. I don't know the name of that movie.
Live in Time.
I just like the little.
So
picture
the
of
horse on the poster of that movie, but devilish.
Yeah, evil.
Evil. So, yeah. So Vicky is disturbed by all of this. And so she, in the middle of the night, puts on a little coat. She goes and she visits Mary Lou's grave in the middle of the night. And she's like, what do you want? What do you want, Mary Lou? And then all of a sudden, Father Cooper shows up and surprises her. And he's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here?
I'm just walking to the grave.
Just walking around the graveyard, checking out the Mary Lou grave too. But what are you doing with this? I'm just whatever. So she's like, do you believe in ghosts? And he's like, I think you're probably, basically what he says is like, you're probably crazy. He basically just like gaslights her. And then she's immediately curses him out. She's like, you fucking asshole bitch, you cocksucker. Like immediately he gets so upset at the fact that she's rightfully like being misled by someone who should know better. And then she immediately is embarrassed and runs away. And she's like, I'm so sorry. She apologizes.
Well, the Catholic Church is equipped for that, but I don't know.
That's true.
I guess they do exorcisms.
Well, I will say he is very prepared because that night he performs a weird exorcism ritual in the church. And then he goes to the grave after this ritual and sort of continues it. And he pulls out a Bible, and the Bible catches on fire and explodes.
Oh, and that's my house.
That's right.
And I was like, what is going on? This person is got a Bible, and he throws it, and it burns in the flames in front of a grave.
Yeah.
And then I see some guy working on a motorcycle. It's Craig.
Yep, my boy Craig.
And then Craig, he's working there, and he's like, something wrong. He's like, something wrong with the goddamn shock. And he's like, oh, Father Cooper, how's it going? And he has
Father Creeper.
Cooper.
Yeah.
Is that the name? Cooper, right?
It's Cooper.
Yeah.
It just sounded like you said Creeper.
Creeper.
Father Creeper, how's it going?
Creeper, I'm going to explode on your Minecraft house. He gives him his shock. It's a funny joke because he's used the Lord's name in vain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then, let's see. Oh, my God. My notes are rough because I did not know what was happening. Okay, yeah. So basically, the bald guy shows up, Glasses Man. I called him, which is Michael Ironside.
Michael Ironside.
He shows up and he's like, "Hey,
Billy.
how's it going? What's going on here?" But he's like, I think I'm a little shook up, to be honest. Actually, I'm a little scared because things are going weird. I think Mary's back."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "Well, if a person dies violently, unfulfilled in life mission, the soul wanders.
What is her
purgatory."
life mission? To bang as many guys as possible?
I guess, or to become prom queen is what I thought it was. She wanders purgatory for eternity, waiting for an opportunity to return.
She did become prom queen, though. That was literally the last thing she did.
That's why I was
before
confused by
dying.
that.
Yeah.
This is what Buddy says.
Unfulfilled in a life mission, the soul wanders purgatory for eternity, waiting for the opportunity to return for revenge. Somehow her spirit has come back from the grave, and she will come after you and me.
Which is very funny because it's very similar dialogue to The Rise of Skywalker. It's just like that.
It's just like Rise of Skywalker.
Just like The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm a priest. She can't get me because I'm fucking a priest.
I'm a
man.
cool motherfucker.
But you got to watch out, Bill, because she's going to get you because you're her murderer. And I'm like, what? This guy murdered Mary Lou? Like
By accident.
Well, it made it sound like it was on purpose in this.
Yeah.
Vicky
It's
returns.
manslaughter. Come on. Chill
Come on,
out.
Manslaughter, man. It's cool.
Yeah.
So Vicky shows up and Craig is like, no straitjacket? She's like, shut up. I didn't get much sleep last night. he's like, you look like shit, dude. And I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with Craig? Why is he so mean?
Yeah, why is he being so mean?
They go to a diner, and she's like, I'm not in control of myself anymore. I might hurt someone. And then a waiter gets near her and goes, ah! And the waiter's like, ah! And drops the waiter stuff all over the place.
Waiter stuff.
Like whatever he was
The
holding.
waiter supplies.
The waiter supplies.
Yeah,
dropped
they get all over the
ground.
place.
It's like, I gotta control myself.
Oh!
And she's like, oh, Craig's like, that's crazy. So Josh is allowed into, so Josh is there hanging out in his like AV club room, and Kelly appears, and she's like, hey, I want you to fix the computer voting. I want you to make it so that I win.
Oh no!
And be the prom queen.
Josh, don't do this.
I'll pay you $100 to make sure. He's like, I don't know.
That's not enough money.
And she's like, name your price, Josh.
Oh no, he's gonna be a pervert. Oh no, Josh! I was counting on you.
But she's like, it's very funny because she's pulling out like tons of $100 bills, but they don't look like real money.
Yeah, of course. That would be the entire budget of the movie.
He's like, nah, actually, I'm good. And she grabs a dart and throws it at Albert Einstein. He's like, I guess like an Albert Einstein poster. And he's like, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm like, okay, well, that's weird. So in class, Vicky is there and is looking in an old notebook and gets an old yearbook and gets a picture of Mary Lou. Someone gave her an old yearbook.
Sure.
Finds a picture of Mary Lou. She finds it, but Kelly turns to her and is like teasing her and is like, "Oh, why are you looking at that old thing?" And then she turns into Mary Lou, at least in Vicky's perspective.
Sure.
So Vicky just fucking falls, slaps her across the face, and she's like, "Maybe she is possessed."
Yeah.
And so Josh is talking to Craig, and Craig is like, hey, so like, I don't know anything about this. And what's Monica? Is that her name?
Yes, her friend, yeah.
So Monica's like, I don't know, she's actually kind of weird. And Craig's like, what do you mean? And
I haven't noticed anything weird. She just yelled at a waiter
I
earlier.
haven't noticed anything weird. And Josh was like, I don't know, maybe she's possessed, dude, you know?
They're really putting this together quickly.
Your mother sews socks in hell, Father Harris,
Mm-hmm.
he says. Also, Josh says,
There could be a lot of advantages in a girl whose head spins around.
No! What kind of advantage is that?
I was thinking that. I was like,
not a blowjob. Like,
what? Like,
what possible advantage?
It would just be a weird blowjob, right? That would be it.
That would be a bad blowjob because it's just like, wah, 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 wah.
Well, I mean, it'd be turned around, so it'd be like getting like reverse. It'd be like reverse cowgirl,
Why?
but for head.
But for what reason?
I don't
It all
know.
feels the same.
I guess, but I don't know. Maybe like Josh is a fucking pervert. I don't know.
I'm really trying to imagine what possible like
Special sex stuff you get by being
Also,
able to be like an owl turning
on top
her
of
head
all
around.
this. She was a child.
But they're all children, so they're all like.
No,
you
I
know.
mean in the original Exorcist movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're talking. I think she was referring to like if. Vicky could do this.
Yeah.
Anyway, Vicky's there. She's in class in detention because she did slap a student.
Vicky slapped
Kelly.
Yeah.
So she's sitting there, and then the teacher leaves, take a little break, but help starts getting written on the chalkboard in creepy ass letters.
Oh my gosh.
And the lights flicker. She goes up to look at it on the chalkboard, and hands pop out of the chalkboard.
It's a good effect.
It's a very good effect because the hands pop out, and then she gets sucked into the chalkboard. Whoa! The chalkboard turns into liquid, and she looks like she's in a pool of liquid on the side of the wall, being like, ah!
That's awesome.
Ah, and then she gets completely pulled in.
I love it. I love it.
Pulled in. A little side note, apparently that effect was extremely expensive.
I can imagine.
It was such a surrealistic sequence where she gets collapsed to the chalkboard, which became a metallic liquid.
Mm-hmm.
It was only a 45-second sequence. The production crew scheduled 5 days to complete the scene, and an estimated cost of $2,000 per hour.
Oh my god!
It was the set. The blackboard was designed with the. It was lying on the floor, and film set appeared it was standing on the end. Like it was a pretty, like you could tell how they did it, but it was still pretty cool looking.
Sing the strings doesn't necessarily take away from the power of the image.
No, not at all. It was very cool.
That's very cool. I like that. I like when a movie like this takes some hard swings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now we cut to confession booth, and Vicky's there. And she says, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I have hurt my friends and given in the sexual desires of my boyfriend." And
Given in?
That's what she says. And
I made my head spin around.
And the old buddy's like, "Oh, that's we all stray from the path of God every so often." And she's
Sure.
like, "Will you pray for me? Will you help me? will you fuck me?
Oh my God.
And she's like, what? And she's like, it's a free country. And
God bless
she
America.
starts breaking down the confession booth.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God. And he's like, she's possessed. So he grabs like the rosary and is just like, you gotta stay away from it. She's like, oh, I died. There is no God. And there is no heaven. And you know what pisses me off the most? No fucking wings. And then she stabs him with the rosary.
She's so upset about not getting some chicken wings.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, chicken wings, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
There's no
She's
Buffalo
upset.
Wild Wings in
No
heaven.
Buffalo Wild Wings. That's only in hell.
You know, that's probably where it belongs.
Yeah.
Craig, so
Hi, welcome to Hot Ones. We're going to be eating some hot wings today in heaven. Today we're talking to Jesus Christ himself.
hello.
So what do you think about hot wings? Do you think your spice level's pretty good?
I think I'm I come from the Middle East, so we have a lot of spicy food there.
That's right. You're not how I pictured.
Artists get like a misconception of me all the time, but I don't blame them because a lot of times they were dead. I was dead by the time they were around, so I
That's
get
fair.
it. But I think racism happens.
That's fair. All right, so let's start with the bomb.
I don't believe in bombing, but let me tell you, this is gonna be spicy.
And scene. Good shit.
So Craig is like talking about Vicky. Oh yeah. So Vicky comes up to Craig and is like, "Hey, you gotta check out your girlfriend
This
because
Hot Ones episode.
she's dressed weird. There's something wrong with her." He's like, "I don't know." And it's funny because like she dresses dated, like
she dresses for the
Vicky
50s.
dresses from the 50s. And I'm like, this is really funny for me seeing like both people are wearing dated clothes. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's true.
Craig doesn't see an issue with it. Some other people do, and Vicky says, "They're my clothes. If you don't like it, lump it."
Whoa. Love it.
So yeah,
How is this? Because like I've only really seen Vicky as like a nice.
It's pretty good.
It's
She's
good.
She's turned into definitely like there's definitely a demon behind her.
Nice.
Yeah, so she's mean to her best friend. I didn't really know Monica or Vicky that well. So, wait, who's Monica? Did I just make up that name?
Monica's her friend.
Oh yeah.
There's
No,
Monica and
yeah.
there's Vicky.
Monica. Vicky
Yeah.
is very mean to Monica for some reason.
Oh,
I did not
no.
know. She's like, "Buzz off. He's my man, Craig." And everyone's like, "Craig, what's wrong with your girlfriend?" And he's just like, "Oh no, man. She's just in a mood. I don't know. It's cool."
It's that time of the month.
So then we get we cut to like a chemistry class, and this guy named Mr. Craven.
Yes, Mr. Craven, and Vicky's last name is Carpenter.
I was gonna say there is a lot of references to
Horror movie
directors in this movie.
Carpenter, I thought might have been easy because it's like she's religious.
That's pretty common. Yeah. Like
so it's like
Jesus.
like Jesus is a
Who was on
carpenter.
Hot Wings at one time?
He was on Hot Wings. That was one of the questions. Like, so I hear you're a carpenter. And he's like, how'd you figure that out? You really did your research.
And all that Bible. It's quite a lot. It's a lot of reading.
It's a lot to read
Kind of
through.
dry sometimes.
Except for my parts, they're all red. But Bible reference. But Carpenter. But then Craven is like a very specific reference, right, to Wes Craven.
But he's a little creep, and he's like,
Easy.
oh yeah, because he comes up to Vicky. Vicky's like, I'm having trouble with this heating, and he's like, well, and he touches her shoulder, and he's like, you gotta turn up the heat a little bit, and he goes down and grabs her butt.
Whoa.
And her friend Monica's across from her, and he's like, Vicky, what are you doing? And Craven goes back to his kind of like front of the classroom, and she kind of like does like a blowing motion, and
blowing motion.
Yeah, and fire blows out of one of his random contraptions and burns his dick. And he's like, ah!
Holy
And
shit.
everyone starts laughing. And Monica is very suspicious about this. So then comes the part where I'm like, I don't know about this movie. I like it.
What's going
This
on
part's
now?
weird.
Oh no.
So they're in the locker room. And yeah. So Monica's
Nothing
naked.
good ever happens in a
Monica's
locker room.
naked. She puts on
Yeah.
clothes and it says, I saw what you did last time.
I saw what you did
Vicky.
last summer.
I saw what you did. You did something to Mr. Craven. She's like, no, I didn't do anything anything. You're ridiculous. Everything is swell. And then Monica's
It's
like,
a humdinger.
Monica says, no one says swell anymore.
Yeah.
And she's like, whatever. So Monica goes and takes a shower, completely naked.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying this because this movie loves showing
This is
naked ladies.
Yeah, this is what the movie's all about back in the day.
So she's taking a shower. And Vicky comes in, takes off all her clothes, and gets in with the shower with her. And is like, I'm sorry I said that. Anyway, it's all okay. Let's start kissing. And they start
Whoa.
kissing. But Monica's like, no, I'm good. I'm kind of freaked out by you. You're not acting like yourself.
Yeah.
And she runs away and hides, and she can't. Somehow this locker room vacated every single person.
Nobody else
she's
was
running
here.
around trying to figure out how to get out. She can't get out anywhere, and I'm like, how does this get locked up? But whatever. I will say it's kind of creepy because
Oh yeah.
it's just like
It's
this
very
locker
off-putting.
room seems like it goes on forever. There's no real exits. It's just an internal prison she's in.
Right.
And so
It's a maze.
So she very quietly, Monica hides in a locker. Vicky is walking around completely naked, just touching all the lockers.
Mhm.
And she gets in front of the locker that Vicky's hiding in, and she starts
That
going.
Monica's hiding in.
Yes, Monica's hiding in. Thank you.
Of course.
She goes going-
Anytime, pal.
She starts singing "Tutti Frutti, Tutti Frutti," and then crushes the lockers
With her hand?
No, just like psychic powers.
Oh, okay.
very
okay.
Carrie. Crushes the lockers, a bunch of blood flows out.
Very Carrie.
Very Carrie. And then she leaves and says, the showers are out of order. Don't go in there.
So what's wrong with that scene?
There's just a lot of nudity for like
No reason, yeah.
No real reason. I mean, not even like, you have it once in a while and you cut away. It's like, no, she's just full on like completely full frontal.
Right.
I'm like,
I don't think these actors needed
I'm
to
not
do
a
that.
prude, but like, you didn't need to do that.
Yeah. Back in the day where it's like these actors didn't want to do this.
They probably did not want to do
Yeah.
this. Maybe they did, but I don't think so.
think they did,
I'm not going to
yeah.
give them the benefit of the doubt.
Did she direct the movie? I don't think so.
No.
Who directed the movie? A man that was like 3 times her age?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. So yeah. So she's done talking to Craig. Vicky is, and then Craig's like, I don't know if I'm ready for the real world.
I don't know if I'm ready for the real world.
And she's like, well, how about some fantasy? And then she takes her to the theater department, starts making out with him on the bed.
Ooh.
Start making it out, and then she grabs his dick. He's like, ah! She's like, don't you want to use this thing, Norhad? And he's like, don't you want to fuck me? And he's like, what? No. And he throws her off of her onto the ground, and he's like, Vicky, what's wrong with you? And she says, wrong. And then it cuts because she's not Vicky anymore.
Oh,
She's
no.
not Vicky at all.
Who is she now?
I don't know. Suddenly there's a weird flash of her driving away in the car with Craig screaming, and the dad is like, no, and he's bleeding from his head.
no.
And he suddenly wakes up and he sees Vicky's there. And Vicky has the ring that says ML on it.
Oh, no.
And she says,
that almost says MILF.
It almost does. She says, you don't remember me, Bill, do you? You wouldn't let me
You wouldn't
let
remember
me wear
me.
your crown, Billy. I'm like, what the fuck? Apparently she did, but
Yeah, she did. She put it on.
yeah.
And then she died.
and she's like, I love Craig. Craig's so cool.
Craig is cool.
What did he want to be? Blindly, she killed her. It killed him.
Oh, he's dead now?
I mean, it makes it sound that way.
Oh,
What did he
no.
want to be? Not that. What does he want to be?
Right,
what
right,
did he
right.
want to be? And he's kind of Bill's like freaking out. She's like, I'll see you later, alligator. And now she's like riding sensually, kind of on that horse. And it's got a tongue out. It's got the weird eyes. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in her bedroom? And her dad appears. And her dad's like, oh, you look beautiful, honey. And your mom and I, when we went to prom, we look so good. She's in her prom dress. It's implied
Right.
she's clearly in prom. And he's like, yeah, I sold all my things for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was working real hard at this random truck stop, and
He's a
it was
cool
good
guy.
time. He's a cool guy.
He's a good guy.
Definitely a good guy. And then she's like, oh, thanks. Hold me, daddy. And then she goes up and grabs
no.
dad and starts making out with dad.
Oh, no.
Dad seems kind of reluctant, but honestly, not reluctant enough. That's what I gotta say.
Oh, no.
And then mom walks in.
All of my heroes in this movie.
Mom walks in and is like, oh. And her daughter leaves, and he's just like, oh, I don't know what happened. But she's like, you Jezebel. And I'm like, what about the fucking dad? He's a fucking pedophile, man.
Pedophile incest man.
Yeah, it's fucked up. And she's
Yeah.
like, no, daughter's the one in the problem.
To be fair, that is like a thing. Like
Totally.
you blame the woman rather than blaming the guy. Who
I almost feel like the movie
absolutely-
was almost trying to make a statement with it, but I don't think.
I don't think it
really
was.
went enough for it.
No, I don't know if this movie's smart enough to
Calls
make
her
a
a
statement.
Jezebel and a harlot, and I'm like, you gotta find a new name besides Jezebel.
Yeah,
This
Jezebel's
is pretty-
cool.
It's pretty outdated.
Yeah.
She comes
See
up.
you later, alligator.
She comes up to her daughter and is like, "You must repent for your sins." And she says, "Oh, but Father Cooper's busy right now because he's dead."
Right.
And then then she just fucking shoots her mom through the front door through glass.
Whoa.
She's pretty much dead. I don't know.
Pretty much.
It doesn't really say if she's dead or not, but she's not moving very much.
Mm-hmm.
And then she walks out in her prom dress and leaves. I imagine it's the prom dress that she thought was like super sexy or something. She got the one that she wanted.
She must have gotten the one she wanted. Yeah.
But yeah, so Billy finds his son Craig and is like, "What happened?"
So he's not dead.
Yeah, he's not dead. He's just he's in his own
Tiny
bed.
Tim,
He's in his own
who
bed.
did not
Who
die.
did not die. And he's like, "Whoa, well, she went crazy and attacked me." And he's like, "Dad, do you know anything about this? Don't you, Dad?" He's like, "No."
Well, son.
He's like, "No, I don't know anything about that." He's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna go to the prom. Here, can you find my shoes?" He's like, "Oh yeah, here's your shoes." And Billy then whacks his own son across the back of his head
Whoa.
and knocks him out and says, "Sorry, son, for your own good, I guess." I'm like, okay.
Sure.
So then Billy goes and digs up a grave and finds Buddy with his face stabbed in with a crucifix.
Oh my God.
You know. Anyway, prom's happening.
Woo!
By the way, Vicky as Mary was trying to set up the decorations for the prom and was very much like, I hate this.
Not having
I'm very,
fun.
very
yeah.
upset and very
Sure.
like by
She
the
doesn't want to do
books,
any work.
calling everyone boneheads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's prom time. Josh has a boutonniere for Veronica, but we all know the fate of Veronica. Crushed by all of those lockers.
Veronica?
Monica.
Monica, yes.
Why did I write Veronica?
I mean, you know, Archie shit.
Archie shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poison my mind. I'm like, anyone in high school that's named Annika is definitely a Veronica. Yeah.
So Monica's fate is
Monica's
that she is
fate.
dead.
And
but
Monica's a beach somewhere, you know?
yeah,
Santa
that's
Monica.
right. That's right.
That's the only thing I
Saint
care about.
Monica.
Saint Monica.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Josh is running around with a camera. He's taking photos of Vicky, and she sparks really weird. Like the photo flashes, and it's like, whoa, a flash, but doesn't matter. It's just a cool effect, I guess. So then Craig wakes up and is like, I'm gonna call Vicky, and dials Vicky's phone number.
Like the house
The
number?
house number. There's no cell phones, Mike.
That's what I was saying. Like, I'm going to call Vicky right now at her home.
Well, he doesn't know where she is.
Yeah.
Calls, and but Mary Lou, somehow from the 50s, had figured out how to change the answer machine and says, this is Mary Lou. I can't do the phone right now. I have places to go and people to kill.
I love it. I love it.
So Kelly
Yeah.
has got with her date and
Right.
is he's messing with her hair. She's like, don't, I spent $65 on my hair. If you mess it up, I'll kill you.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh is like, damn, looks like Monica's not going to show up. So I have to go drink in my AV room. And he pops open, the coolest part about him, pops open the TV. He pops open a TV and there's a bunch of hidden beers.
That's
inside
what I'm talking
the
about. This
TV.
guy rocks.
He's cool.
Yeah.
Well, Kelly enters
Oh, no.
and is like, all right, who won? I need to know. And he's like, well, I can't tell you that legally, but you didn't win.
Mm.
And she's like, can you change that? And he's like, well, you know my price.
Oh, no.
And she's like, fine. And she puts down some breath mints. And then it's like, unbutton your pants. Let's do this. And then
No,
she gives him a blowy
Oh, God, Josh.
while he enters in the winner of the person
Mm.
who is going to be Kelly now.
No, Josh. Come
I know.
on, Josh.
So Billy's walking around the school with a gun.
It was a different time.
I know.
Yeah.
And Kelly goes back to her date and kisses her date. And he says, "Whoa, your breath smells good. You got any more breath mints?" So in the middle of changing the vote, Josh is changing the vote. In the middle of changing it, Vicky grabs what I can only imagine is like an Ethernet cable in the middle of the prom
Wait,
room.
Vicky does? Mary
Yeah.
Lou does.
Well, she's still Vicky.
Sorry, you're right. Yeah.
Vicky is still doing it.
Yep.
Vicky as Mary Lou. Mary Lou's probably controlling the strings at this point.
Yeah.
Grabs the Ethernet cable, and in the other room, in the AV room, sends a signal to Josh trying to change the vote, and it just says on the screen, "Dead wrong." And then electricity starts shooting out of the computer and electrocutes
Josh.
He's like, whoa, and his face starts melting and he dies.
Melting?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's crazy. So they announce the winner. And the winner is
Mary
Vicky.
Lou, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Kelly must be so upset.
She gave a blowjob for nothing.
I know. But during this moment, Billy's sneaking up at the rafters, and someone goes up to Kelly and is like, Kelly, how'd you blow it?
Ah!
It's a good joke.
Oh, boy.
a
Oh,
good joke.
boy.
So, yeah, Craig finally makes it to prom. He's not in his prom gear at all, but he finally makes it. And he sees Vicky come up there, and she's like, oh, my God. I'm so excited to be prom queen. And suddenly she gets the tiara on. She's all there. And then suddenly she gets shot fucking tons of times as Billy shoots her
Unloads on
from
her.
the rafters.
Holy shit.
And so everyone just sees the shooting of the prom queen.
From the principal.
Well, they don't know if they completely see him yet.
Yeah.
And Craig goes up and is like, I'm so sorry. Call the ambulance. Call the fucking ambulance. And I'm like, this movie's crazy.
It's
then
got off the rails.
it
What
gets crazier.
Crazy? How
She
could it
starts
possibly?
Convulsing. She starts freaking out.
Right.
And then a creepy hand pops out of her stomach and pushes Craig off of her.
Oh my God.
Not Craig. Who's the cool guy we like? No, it is Craig. Yeah.
Craig, yeah.
I keep getting Josh and Craig mixed up. And yeah, so pushes him off of her, and this rotted ass beast starts ripping through Vicky's body, which is just flat on the ground, and just this horrifying, rotting, just black with hair, like disgusting, like rotting corpse looking thing comes out, and starts looking at people and doing basically the Carrie thing.
Right.
Making all these like neon lights, these neon fancy signs fall down, including
Sounds a bit like the new Suspiria movie too, actually.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then Kelly gets killed by one of the neon lights hitting her stomach and stabbing her, and that's the end of Kelly.
Oh. What a great character.
But then the creepy beast starts getting more skin and becoming
Mary Lou.
So she's there.
Woo.
Craig tries to stop her, but she fights and she tries to kill him, and almost honestly does. And she's just like, "You're really starting to piss me off." And he runs away because he realizes he's no match for her. And he goes into the basement and closes the door behind him. And he's like, instead of keeping running, he decides to look back and see her open the door.
Yeah.
And then she jump scares in front of him, and he's like, "Ah!" And he keeps runing.
And then he stops.
He keeps running.
Then he keeps running and stops.
He keeps going deeper into the basement, and there's a sarcophagus there, like a mummy full thing, and it opens
mummy?
up. A mummy.
Why? How? How was that in the high school?
It's in the prop department, right? So it's a big sarcophagus.
Oh, okay.
And it opens up, and Josh is inside of it, and his head spins completely around.
Oh, the blowjob thing.
And he says, "You're in deep shit," in a demon voice, and then he shuts it. And then he hears this knock at the door. It's Vicky. She says, "Open the door! Open the door!
I'm normal now."
I don't know what happened to me. It hurts." This, by the way, last time we saw her, she was a deflated body.
Yeah. Skin.
Just skin on the ground. And he opens the door, and he's like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, this guy's become stupid. And he opens the door, and he's hugging her, and she turns into Mary all of a sudden,
Right.
and then just says, "Sucker," and the suitcase opens. Is there and appears. He says bye-bye, and he kicks her into it, or she kicks him into it.
Yes.
And the luggage case, she starts to get sucked in. She says, "See you later, alligator."
I love it.
And then suddenly Billy appears with the prom queen crown and puts it on her head.
Ethan's having so much trouble saying words right now.
Crown, prom queen crown, prom queen crown, the crown.
Ethan's turning
It's
into
the
Hope
crown.
Star Runner.
It's the crown, the prom queen. He suddenly appears with the palm of the prom queen and puts on a head. And he gives you a big old smooch.
Okay, so that's what happens.
Yeah, he gives her a kiss
Okay.
after putting the prom queen crown
Clown.
on. And she's so happy. This is all she wanted.
Yeah, she wanted to be a prom queen.
And suddenly the camera, for some reason, flies all the way to her grave and explodes into a flashback of Billy and Mary Lou dancing back in the day. And then, I guess that stopped it for some reason.
What a relief.
Craig sees the suitcase close and the cross outside of it there. And he hears screaming inside of it from Vicky saying, "Let me out, let me out." I'm like, I don't trust that shit.
Yeah, fuck that.
So he opens it up. She pops out. And he's like, "Okay, what do you take with your sugar? Do you take sugar with your coffee? She says, no, that stuff will kill you.
Oh, right. They said that earlier in the movie.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, thank God it's you. So they walk out, and they're like, oh, we did it. We
what
got
a
rid of-
relief.
we got rid of Mary Lou. And they see Billy there, and she's like, Dad, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. Let's go home. So they get in there. All the cops have arrived because there's
gonna go
apparently a
wrong.
bunch of people died.
Yeah.
And they get in the car, and he's like, all right, let's get out of here. And he turns on the radio. Billy does. And it says,
Tutti Frutti.
no, it says, let me tell you about a story about Mary Lou.
Oh, yeah.
and Dad says, hey, kids, they're playing our song. And his eyes glow.
oh, no.
And they're like, no. And he says, let's cruise. And and they drive off, and the license plate says, Mary Lou 2. This is so fucking funny. And then the movie ends.
Oh, what a good movie.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
There are some good times.
There were some fun times.
I looked up a little bit of trivia here. It says, where is it? When tasked with directing reshoots, first-time director Ron Oliver called Wes Craven, friend of his, for some advice on directing a teen horror film. Wes Craven's advice was, give him a scare, give him a hard-on, and send him home. So
Sure, I guess.
the movie,
So
I
he's
feel like
all right, more nudity then.
I feel like that's exactly what the movie was attempting.
Make the ladies kiss.
Yeah. Have them be naked for
Have
no
them be
reason.
naked for no reason. We didn't even do the scene here.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I liked some aspects of this movie. I think it's a fun little film.
movie. I mean, even the parts that were bad, I'm like, it was still so fun besides that.
How heartbreaking would it be? Like, in a weird world
Mm-hmm.
where M. Night Shyamalan's daughter listens to our podcast.
no.
And she's just like, wow, I really worked hard on this, like, meaningful film watchers about, like, depression and these suicidal
Did she
tendencies.
really do that?
And then she's just like, oh, they really didn't like it. Well, I'm sure they're gonna hate this other really shitty movie from the 80s. Oh no, they really liked it.
Oh no, they liked it a lot. Apparently, Mary Lou appears in the next installment, Prom Night 3, The Last Kiss.
I want to see more of Mary Lou. Mary Lou is a great villain.
Mary Lou's a lot of fun. She's an awful person.
Yeah,
but it's amazing.
We must stand a queen. What is it? I'm for women's rights and women's wrongs.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
She does a lot of wrongs.
Yeah, she rocks.
This was apparently going to be called The Haunting of Hamilton High.
Lame.
But it was retitled in order to capitalize on the success of original Prom Night. But do you think Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2 is a good name?
No, but like Hamilton High is pretty lame.
Haunting on Hamilton High is pretty bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a fun little movie. Like, this is, again, leans into all the stereotypes.
Big time.
that
But
you
it
expect.
knows. It's like playing.
I
It's
don't know if
having
I
fun.
don't know if it knows.
Well, it's playing in them. It's having a fun
It's very
time in
earnest
'em.
about it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that's the thing. I think there's something about the earnesty
Yeah,
of
there's
it
not
that
like a
works.
wink and a nod.
No.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing is it doesn't know, but it's fine with it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It just owns it. You know, it owns the stereotypes. It owns the tropes.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, it's got a fun vibe to it. It's got a good creepy, corny horror vibe, and it's
Yeah.
fun. It wasn't very scary.
Wasn't that scary? But
No.
pumpkin rating? Out of 5, I think is what we usually get,
5 is
right?
what we
2.5.
I think that's exactly where I would put it. 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
If Josh had not been a creep, and if there was not a needless amount of like gratuitous nudity that
I think this would be
I would
3
give
out
it
of
a
5.
3,
3 out of
3.5.
5.
Yeah, that would have gone up a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
But as it stands right now,
There's definitely some like. It's definitely one of those movies you put on with your friends, like, all right, folks, so this will be a lot of fun.
Didn't age that well.
But
I don't love this movie.
there's
okay?
some aspects that aren't great.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna stand by this movie 100%.
Yeah.
But you know,
But you
put
know
on there.
what?
I mean,
There's
heck,
some
I have
fun
to do
moments.
that with Vampire's Kiss too. So I mean, you know, that happens. That
Exactly.
happens with all the greats.
All the great
All the
films.
greats. They all got problems.
They all have problems.
They got
But
prob-
this
not all of
one
them, but-
has it's a fun ride. You know,
It's a
it was
fun
never
ride.
bored.
I had a good time with it.
Yeah.
I was entertained the entire time.
I'd recommend it. Guys, have you ever been to prom? Email us at emailthehorrorpodcast.com. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you want to listen to our previous Spooktacular episodes, find them on any podcatching app. And while you're there, please leave a 5-star rating and review. We will read it in the show no matter what it says, even if it will incur the wrath of Mary Lou. Also, we're on Discord and Facebook and Instagram and Threads and
all that
X.
bullshit.
Ethan, did you ever go to prom?
I was just gonna ask you. I did go to prom.
I didn't.
You didn't.
I never went to
Well,
prom.
our school was so small. Our prom was open to everyone.
Oh, I see.
So we could go.
You didn't go with anybody, right? You just showed up with friends?
Nah, I showed up with friends.
Yeah.
I wasn't cool. I didn't have a girlfriend.
I
I went
didn't.
with friends who had girlfriends though, and I was just like, oh, we're still cool. Though.
We're all hanging out together.
I'm cool though. I'm a cool guy. Yeah. You didn't go to your prom? Did you have
Nah,
is it a senior prom?
Yeah, I didn't
What'd you do
go.
instead?
probably like stayed home and watched a movie, like
Wow.
lame shit, or went out with some friends and did something fun.
I had a fun time at my prom. I mean, if people miss it though, I don't think it's a life-changing experience to miss it.
Yeah.
But it was a fun time.
Yeah.
But also I had friends then, so that was cool.
Must have been nice.
Must have been nice to have friends.
Different now.
Yeah.
Just at me.
Just gotta go home, all
And you find folk at home.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
night,
y'all are
everybody.
parasocial friends. We love you too.
We love you. We don't know who you are, but we love you.
5-star rating.
Good night, everybody.